Good afternoon, everyone. This is Jared Rand, and welcome to the Global Guided Meditation Call for September 25th, 2019. p.m. How do you know that you are powerful? How do you know? You just listen to someone tell you you're powerful, or or do you think by breaking a board you're powerful? And what does that mean when we talk about we're omnipotently powerful? Well, if you can move and create, so if you can move water and you can, for what reason I don't know what, but bend and control the actual chemistry, the molecular structure of all that there is, ever has been, ever will be. Now, the problem is that when it's left up to the mind and the ego, it's very difficult for you to do any of that, okay? And if you're mastered through the heart-mind over the mind and the ego, what is it that really moves us? Think about this. What is it that really moves us? You see, and you'll see why this has been reversed on purpose for the civilization. Reversed, okay? So you're taught, we're taught, even while we're in the womb, we are picking up things. So we're taught that the mind is the focal points to control, right? Now, if the mind had no way of increasing adrenaline and increasing motivation and chutzpah and heavy direction, what motivates us? Emotion. Right? When we're challenged with something, what happens? Emotion. Not mind, emotion. And if you're void of emotion, which we're not, what do you think would happen? You think we'd have a Vulcan civilization that has purged all emotion and only believe that logic, all right? A disciplined mind. How do you discipline a mind? Isn't this interesting? How do you discipline the mind? You discipline it through the heart mind. It doesn't discipline itself. You see the fallacy there? The mind can't discipline itself. It needs direction. If you leave the mind by itself and the ego, it is going to go rampant every single second of existence. It will be flying around, sending all kinds of communication into you that you'll grab. You'll grab these thoughts, you'll turn them into realities. You'll grab the thought, turn it into reality. The reality, then the motion starts in once you do that. And then all the rest starts flooding in. So be mindful, careful of that. It is, some people say, well, God, it seems so micromanaging, and it seems that it's so much involved, and it seems so tiresome. But it isn't, see? Because what is your prime directive? In the beginning, the prime directive is to master the mind and the ego through the heart mind. Okay? And we know the heart mind is the emotion. It's also many different balancing avenues. Like when you get angry, through the heart mind, you can turn that anger. Through the mind, it's incessantly, once you get angry, it goes off in all different directions. So people say, okay, so for the heart mind, we send out, say we get angry. Say the mind tricks us and it sends a signal to the heart mind rather than the heart mind monitoring the mind. So what happens is that the signal goes out, and then again, okay, you're subservient to the mind through the heart mind, and you get angry. And then what happens with angry, if you don't know how to turn anger off and dissipate it, guess what happens? It's out of control. That's what happens with a lot of the civilization of this planet. When they find themselves in an anger or vengeful or cynic or pessimistic or aggressive revenge type avenue, they're not aware that they're the master, and they can just turn that off without ramifications, because it literally dissipates and it's replaced with peace, joy, love, and harmony. We don't care to go into anger, although there are times that we're going to be a little miffed at things. It's just part of the chemical makeup of these bodies, all right? But we know how to temper it. We know how to direct the energy from the anger to the love, okay? But see, if you allow that mind to keep putting in the ego, ego is never satisfied, so it keeps pushing. See, the anger gets more and more and more and more and more. Why do you think that low frequencies will send those out into groups and people, and they will instigate that? They will play on the mind to dictate to the heart mind, even if they don't know that construct. That's what they're doing. That's what they're instructed to do. So what happens? It whips up 3 people, 4 people, and then the anger and the energy starts to expand. That's what happens inside. So as it starts to expand, more anger, more aggression, and you lose total sight, and you're swallowed by the mind and the ego, constantly pushing anger. All right? So, we reverse that. Imagine if a civilization had known that in the beginning, is that the heart mind is so much more powerful than the mind. The mind is a tool of the heart mind. See? Now, obviously, we need the mind and the ego, but if we are not in control of them, then we're in trouble. And all of you know what that means, that we're reckless abandon, going off here and going off there, and we get angry and we get stressed and we get worried and we get fearful, and understand that ego is never satisfied. So when you go into that frustration, it's going to grow and it's going to expand. And if you have no way of checking it, or understanding or knowledge of your power within on how to check it, then it's going to go out of control a lot of times. And how many times you've been in a situation where you found yourself being totally swallowed up by anger, in an argument with a loved one, a disagreement with a friend, a business partner, whatever, and you feel it growing and growing and growing, and then look how long it takes you. Then you have guilt come in. Then you have unsettledness come in. And it's a long list, because the mind and the ego keep pumping you. You get every ounce out of you, see? And then finally, as you calm down, you start to realize, what the heck did I do that for? It didn't accomplish anything. This makes me feel heavy. No, that was dumb. See, there's no reason to argue, guys. See? And being right, is it really a big deal? It really isn't. It's how we focus and flow with ourselves in the true love and the God that we are. Okay? So, when I talk about this stuff in these meditations, and there's been so many areas, you're getting a detailed analysis, layout, and structured path on how to balance and be the commander and master of you. That's really important. Not to follow somebody, but to be the master and commander of you, to think for yourself and lead yourself. Self-governing. Okay? So we operate through the heart mind, and we overview the mind and the ego. Now we know we have those, so it's great. So those 3, and it's a 3, powerful number. And we continue to master. So if we feel anger come in, frustration and fear, and we get off track, we bring us back online, moving into the now, and using the heart mind to oversee the mind. Say the mind, we got to concentrate on changing the planet and the very structure of the atmosphere in all life. Now, the heart mind says to the mind, we're going to create a paradise here. And okay, now think about this. So the mind has the ego that plugs into it, and you're directing it right from the heart mind, instead of the opposite, which is a disaster. And so you end up, and the mind starts to cooperate. And so the mind focuses on creating the paradise. And guess what? The ego is never satisfied. So what a wonderful direction, because the ego is going to want to keep going and going and going to make it even better and better and better. It doesn't give up, see? But you can use that as a very powerful vehicle on creating this paradise and having the existence and the life in that body that you desire. So think about that as we do this meditation in this now and this today. We work it. That's how mastership and command go into place. You don't deny, argue, or become confronting with the mind and the ego. You embrace them, but at the same time, you literally are overseeing them through the heart-mind. And as you practice that, and you become more and more used to it, you're in the habit of it. It becomes automatic, and guess what? You start reprogramming the subconscious mind as you do this. It no longer is. It's saying, well, they're not using this stuff that has been accumulated through their life. They're creating new things, and so the new things move into the subconscious and overpower the low and negative vibrational areas, and everything begins to increase in the frequency. So you start operating and balancing in many different directions, and it's effortless. And then all the things that you were blocking from yourself, because you unblock, because of this direction, start flowing to you. Opportunities, wealth, abundance, health, happiness, all this starts flowing to you. And through the heart mind, you pick and choose. So you say to the mind, we'll take this one, and we'll take that one. And also this one. Okay? And then you're done. And the mind and the ego sit back down and wait, like good students. See? And you're the teacher. You're the master. And so you keep moving that. This is how we're creating the paradise on this planet. This is how we're shifting the collective consciousness of this planet. So, mastership. Okay? Mastership. So if you will, go to the place where you're not going to be interrupted, which I'm sure most of you are. And the first thing we do is what? We breathe. We breath in through the nose and we breath out through the mouth. Some say inhale, exhale, breathe in, breathe out. But it is a breath that we take in, and it's a breath that we let out. Now, by doing this, you focus on relaxing the body. In the body, believe it or not, guys, all the years I was in master massage, I learned a lot about the physical body of the holding these gods. And I'll tell you, the body takes on anxiety, fear, and stress every second of the day. Now, you might not be aware of it because you're so used to doing it, but it does. So every day we must release that. Let it go. Let it fall off of you. Drop your shoulders. Move more in harmony. You know, don't stress the body from the standpoint of this incessant mind chatter and ego, because you're moving from the mind, the heart mind, to the mind and ego. So you're relaxing the body through your breathing. And as you breathe, you want to breathe in through the nose, and you want to hold it 1001, 1002, 1003, and then breath out through the mouth. Now, when you do this, and for some of you, you want to do this at least 6 times while I'm talking, but when you do this, and when you breath in, and you hold it for 3 seconds, those of you who are new, the reason we do that is because it focuses us on the now. A lot of people go, well, how do you stay in the now? What the heck am I supposed to do? Just constantly going, I'm in the now, I'm in the now, I'm in the now? Well, that's one way. But a fluid way is to focus on your breathing. That's why we hold our breath. It focuses us on our breathing, pulls us into it, instead of mind chatter and everything. And so as we focus on the breathing, we go into stillness of the mind. We still the mind. And we're in the now. We're not in the future. We're not in the past. We're not going back in the past and remembering this and that and all this stuff. We've already learned all that, and then we move forward. And the past is gone, it's done. Right? It's very seductive, very seductive. But we get into the understanding that I've already accumulated. I don't need that stuff. So then you go and you're in the now and you say, I don't have the future yet. I haven't created it. Because everything happens in the now, the past, the present, and the future. It's all in the now. That's why we focus on the now. Then we don't get off track. So when you feel like, I think I'm not, I'm in the future, I'm in the past, that's all right. You start breathing. And you start focusing back in the now. Brings you on track. Late at night, go to bed. The mind's going, can't sleep. All you got to do is focus on your breathing. Breath in, breath out. And all that stuff and chatter, it'll finally melt away, and you will go to sleep. Morning, afternoon, whatever. Same thing. And you're in the now. It cannot be in the future, the past, the breath, the breathing is in the now, always will be, always has been. As you do this, you're relaxing the body, you're breathing, you're focusing on the now, you're moving into stillness of the mind. Now as you breathe in through the nose, you're breathing in divine, positive energy. And people say, well, why don't you breathe in, divine negative energy? Because we aren't breathing in low frequency. We're focused and balanced on the now. We're breathing. We're pulling in source energy of the highest frequency of deep eternal love for the collective consciousness of the planet and universe. So as you do this, it's always collective conscious, positive, high lifting frequency. So as you breathe it in, there's always a message through your God. In your consciousness, you pick it up and you say, okay, and it's not verbal, it's not words or voices in your head. It's emotion. It's through the heart mind. And as it comes in, it says to you, mastership. All you have to do is you understand that the heart mind is the master over the mind and the ego. It's a great combination. Once you click it, it's phenomenal. And once you get used to doing it continuously, it's astronomical. And so then you start experiencing wonderful things that you had not really gotten much of a taste of throughout your life. And then it starts building, and then it becomes fluid. You don't even have to think about it. You just are, and you watch what happens. I guarantee you, the shift of the flow of source changes. You elevate, you click into it, and everything you've been chasing, and everything you have been wanting and desiring is yours. That's not a fantasy, that's a reality. So look at the motivation through the heart mind that you have to achieve that. It's massive. And then when you achieve it, then when you have all that you've ever desired or wanted and plus, and then you'll go on to the next step of understanding. This is fleeting. This isn't my true joy. You'll move even higher in frequency. And you'll see, as you progress, what I'm talking about. Now, as you breath out, you're breathing out the skepticism, pessimism, cynicism of not believing that this is achievable, or if it's even real, or if it's just made up, and the life you have is the one you're supposed to have, and you're supposed to struggle and stress and fear and worry constantly. Low levels, mid levels, and high levels, but it's always there. So that's what the voice comes in and says to you. It is a vibrational feeling. You say, oh no, come on, this is the way you're supposed to. That's all a bunch of fantasy, gobbledygook. That doesn't work. You say, but it does. And the mind and ego try to convince you it doesn't. So you mastership. You're the mastership. You are in mastership. Now remember, we are one with the heart mind. We don't have to merge with it. We are the heart mind. We are in it. And remember something. You've got to remember that God is with you. The heart mind is with you. You're all together. is one. Now, you will feel where you're at in this body. I'll tell you that right away. You will feel it. You will either be in the gut area, okay? You might be up in the stomach area or up in the solar plexus. You'll know. The higher you are in the body, the more fluid and at peace you will be. The more bliss you'll experience. But you'll know where you're at depending on who's mastering who. If the mind and ego are mastering your heart-mind, your God, heart-mind, will be low in your body, and you will know it once you focus on it. And you will also know how to bring yourself higher and into more joy and bliss and happiness and elimination of stress. You know, when you start viewing this and absorbing it, you say, well, it's almost natural for us. Once we start embracing it, it's a little bit uncomfortable at first, but that dissipates and eventually it leaves. So arm in arm, hand in hand, we form our God light energy, our ring, our circle of light, our halo. It's the energy that we are in the body. So we embrace the equator of this planet, this water world, this earth. And we encase it in a perfect sphere. The sphere, it's inside and out, above and below. And it is filled with different frequency energies, all on the high. Emerald green flaming healing light of Archangel Raphael. It's the healing energy, which is constantly regenerating, rebuilding, regenerating, rebuilding. Purple transmuting flame transmutes all negative and low frequencies into neutral light substance. Neutral light means they aren't. And you can also vacuum it off to the great central sun and have it repurposed for whatever source determines. So, violet ray, cleansing, purifying, right? White fire. White fire is comprised of the white Christ light. It's comprised of a lot of different energies. But understand, it is only high frequency. All of these are only high frequency. And if you try to mess with them and you give them a wrong signal, they will not work. They cannot function in low frequency. I'm going to tell you that right now. So remember that. If low frequencies try to invade these, they're vaporized. They can't sustain a high frequency when they are parked and decision is made to stay in low frequency. They can't function, period. It's just like we couldn't function in 10th dimension or 9th dimension because we don't have the physical structure to hold us in order to sustain us in that frequency because we are not built for it. See? It would tear us apart. It's the same thing. The golden, white, pink light of prime source, creator God, mother, father God, the yin, the yang, the feminine, the masculine, and source creation, universe. It's a family. And we're part of that family. That's why I say our family. So all of these energies, these emitting vibrant, and these are colors that you don't see on this planet yet. The vibrancy and the depth of these colors is beyond anything you've ever seen. They're not pale. They're just absolutely amazing. And color is a frequency, guys. So as we do this, as we advance, and we are protected in those same spheres, and nothing can harm us. I don't care if it's a super interdimensional dimensional frequency of beings. It doesn't matter where they are, where they come from, all that there is, ever has been, ever will be, ever. If their intent is low frequency disruption and annihilation, it cannot survive in high frequency. It's like a bullet that comes at you, disintegrates before it even gets to you because its frequency is low. Its intent is to damage. It has consciousness, believe it or not. It isn't just some point. Particles decide and determine. So as it moves, it disintegrates. You know, a blunt instrument coming down on you is a negative low frequency. It is dispelled, and we will learn. I will teach you how to do that. So you can teach others. So as we are around the equator of this planet and we start to move up, we leave the body. We're connected. We power the body, but we can leave it a little bit. Not leave it, but we can move out of it, and we start move up. And as we move up of the planet, we're compelled. This is a liberation of this planet, and we are instrumental in assisting with that liberation. So we call upon all the light energy beings who come from all that there is, ever has been, ever will be, ever. And they're of the highest, deepest, eternal love, from the highest, deepest, eternal love. None of them, I don't care if they're low frequencies, they're not going to join us. The only ones that join us on this meditation now are those of the high frequency only. Only. Because I warned the ones that try to come in at low frequency, they will be disbanded and they will be vaporized. And they know it. So it's a heads up for them. Okay? So no disruption can take place. Ever. Period. And they're of deep compassion. They are of generosity and humbleness. They are non-judging. They are in absolute harmony, benevolence, and tranquility. And they come and join us in this meditation, arm in arm, hand in hand. And they come in the googolplexes. One googolplex will fill this universe. We pluralize that, it's several universes. And they keep expanding. They're coming all the time. So, as they come in, they're of the highest, of deepest, deepest, deepest gratitudes. And we are of the highest, of deepest, deepest, deepest gratitudes. We cannot say this enough on reprogramming the subconscious. We are all one, we are all love, and the God-light energy is everywhere. We call upon the archangels, the seraphim, the cherubim, the archetypes, all of the angels, all of the civilization that has been assisting our civilization for eons. In peace and prosperity and abundance and support and love and kindness, generosity, non-judging, full compassion, humbleness, benevolence. And they flock in, arm in arm, hand in hand, in the trillions, in this meditation. And they are of the highest, of deepest, deepest, deepest gratitudes, and we are of the highest, of deepest, deepest, deepest gratitudes. Only of those who are of the highest, deepest, eternal love, and from the highest, deepest, eternal love, can join us. Any who are in low frequency, I've been given a heads up. And our God-light energy, we are all one, we are all love, and our God-light energy is everywhere. We call upon ascended masters, Kuan Yin, Maitreya, Buddha, Lakshmi, Ganesh, Gaia, El Moria, Abundantia, Saint Germain, Sananda Jesus, just to name a few of them. These are those who have ascended out of body, left, matrix, have come back, not in body. They've come back as their gods, and even though they take a risk of being entangled in the matrix, they're here to assist us in the highest frequency possible. And again, they're of the highest, deepest, eternal love, from the highest, deepest, eternal love. No low frequencies can't come. They might try, but it's short-lived. And they come, they're in full compassion, they are in non-judging, they are in humbleness, they are in generosity, they're in benevolence and tranquility, peace, non-judging. And they come into trillions, they flock in, because there's many, everywhere, and all that there is, ever has been, ever will be, ever. Arm in arm, hand in hand, in this meditation, in this now. And they are of the highest of deepest, deepest, deepest gratitudes, and we're of the highest of deepest, deepest, deepest gratitudes, and we are all one, and we are all love, and our God light energy is everywhere. We call upon the inhabitants of Agartha, hollow earth, inner earth, beneath earth. Only those of these civilizations who are of the highest, deepest, eternal love from the highest, deepest, eternal love can join us. They are in full compassion, non-judging, peace, generosity, humbleness, tranquil, benevolent, kind. And they come, arm in arm, hand in hand, in the billions, and they join us in this now, in this meditation. And they are of the highest of deepest, deepest, deepest gratitudes, and we are of the highest of deepest, deepest, deepest gratitudes, and we are all one, and we are all love. And our God light energy is absolutely everywhere. Permeates all that there is, ever has been, ever will be, ever. All in high frequencies, all in deep eternal love. We call upon the galactic soft-worlders. And again, only those of these civilizations who are of the highest, deepest, eternal love from the highest, deepest, eternal love can join us. All the low frequencies will vaporize. You're always protected. Never left in harm's way, ever. They've been assisting us. They're of the highest, deepest, eternal love from the highest, deepest, eternal love only, and they have been assisting us in our evolution, our ascension, our enlightenment, freeing ourselves from our self-imposed bondage and slavery. They're in full compassion, non-judging. They're humble, generous, kind, benevolent, tranquil. And they come into billions, arm in arm, hand in hand, joining us in this meditation and this now. And they are of the highest, deepest, eternal gratitude. And we are of the highest of deepest, deepest, deepest gratitudes. And we're all one. We are all love. Our God light energy is everywhere. We call upon our loved ones who have ascended out of body in this lifetime and all lifetimes that we've inhabited, and only those who are of the highest, deepest, eternal love from the highest, deepest, eternal love may join us. They're in full compassion. They are in generosity. They're in humbleness. They're in bliss and tranquility. They are not housed in a physical form. So they are the pure essence of source creation, the God. And they come arm in arm, hand in hand, in this now, in this meditation, to join us in the billions. And they are of the highest, deepest, deepest, deepest gratitudes, and we are of the highest and deepest, deepest, deepest gratitudes. We're all one. We're all love. And our God light energy is absolutely everywhere, expanding every single second, flooding and saturating all that there is, ever has been, ever will be, ever. Now, we call upon all the light energy beings who have decided to be housed in the following forms on and above and below this planet. They are of the highest, deepest, eternal love from the highest, deepest, eternal love only. And just to name a few of them: fairies and sprites, the elves, the dwarves, the gnomes, the trees, the elementals, earth, air, water, fire, the mermaids, the dolphin, the whale, the Pegasus, the unicorn, the centaur, the minotaur. There's so many others. And they come in the trillions, arm in arm, hand in hand, and the sizes, the shapes, and the forms that we view are some that we have never seen, ever. And they are with us. They're gods with our gods with theirs. They are of the highest of deepest, deepest, deepest gratitudes, as we are of the highest of deepest, deepest, deepest gratitudes. We're all one. We're all love. And our God-light energy continues to saturate all that there is, ever has been, ever will be, ever. Transforming the very frequencies and the sacredness of space to the highest high of the frequencies and deep eternal love. We look up and we see our meditative sphere. In this sphere we created, it sets center circle. It holds all of our meditations in perpetual motion. It is constant, perpetual, never ending, growing. It can be seen, heard, and felt, and all that there is, ever has been, ever will be, ever. Increasing the bliss and the harmony, the joy, the prosperity and abundance in many different forms. You feel it as it floods you. It floods your physical body and your God. It continually uplifts you in pure, deep, eternal love, all high frequency. You become and move into bliss, into nirvana. You then begin to understand and embrace ever so much more your heart mind. You understand that you are in the mastership of all that you are, ever will be, ever have been, ever. You will understand that you are the God, the mind of God, kingdom of God. And you understand that your heart mind is an absolute key to overseeing the mind and the ego. You're in mastership. You are mastering this. And the more you practice it, the better you will become. And the more you practice it, the more it will become automatic. And the more you reprogram the subconscious with it, the more it will respond in automated direction. The more you operate from the heart mind over the mind and the ego, the more you will connect in higher frequencies with the flow of source. All that you have ever looked at, desired, is here within you, and it is opening up to you. Because as you master the heart mind over the mind and the ego, your mastership, you will be absolutely saturated and flooded with total bliss and harmony. As long as you maintain it, as long as you embrace it, as long as you, the love, embraces it, the love, as one. We look down upon the planet and we see all of the civilization, all of our brothers and sisters in all light. And our intention is without gain. It is just that they are us and we are them. And we desire all of them to awaken, to embrace their gods, to begin mastering their heart-mind, to begin moving fluidly over the mind and the ego, to begin reprogramming the subconscious bit by bit. It's a wonderful, wonderful path and journey. We are preparing ourselves for the true existence that we are, the gods. And as we become more and more masterful in this mastership, we will move out of mastership and we'll be full-blown masters. And we wish for everyone to move there in their own way, without being prodded, pushed, convinced, in their own way. With our intention, changing the frequencies continuously into a higher and higher, deeper, eternal love, it assists them to begin to open up and awaken, and realize the omnipotently powerful gods that they are. This is what's changing this planet every split second. I will join you in the meditation, and I'll return to close us out. practice moving into mastership, which we all are. The heart-mind master over the mind and the ego. And then the three of them together, put correctly together, is unstoppable on the creation of paradise and the transformation of the low frequencies of this planet to the highest high of deep eternal love. We've already engaged it, and all we're doing now is becoming more and more masterful with it. Because in reality, this is why we have what we have with these physical forms, to learn, absorb, and practice. So remember, mastership is the heart-mind, where you continually move into a higher frequency of joy, peace, love, prosperity, abundance, happiness, bliss, generosity and humbleness, non-judging, full in compassion. You guide the mind and the ego. And as I've explained, once you have this magical recipe in the right, proper context and direction, they'll fit together effortlessly. You just practice, practice, practice. Take it with you for the rest of the day, into the evening and night, and tomorrow morning. We will have a time for change call tonight at 9 p.m. on this line. As I recommend, people should always take something to write with, the old-fashioned way, writing. You know, notes, journal. You can carry it with you anywhere, and it's much easier to access. So, in case, all computers for a time period that don't operate, you will have your journal. And we will